Hey, Mean Matt here. So, I don't have the WWE network, so I'm gonna have to watch NXT tonight. Like I said, it's always on every Fridays on Spartan 360, so. Dynamite was good. I just watched it last night, and holy shit. I mean, like I said before, they really got this down pat, where, yes, it's an isolation thing, yes, you gotta be social distancing. You know what? This to me is, it has to be. But the fact is, they are back at, I can't remember the name of the building, Daily Place, I think. And it was awesome. It was a great show, a different atmosphere. It was outside, just like it was for the last pay per view. And it was awesome. So, I mean, you had Joey Janela versus Cody Rhodes, and this match was awesome. You kind of knew where it was going to go, but Joey Janela really does show that he's a great wrestler. You have Cody go over, and handshake friendly. They did talk about the whole women's division, the women's the women's AEW title. So that's going to be good to see where that goes. I think it's going to be a fatal four way. So it's going to be interesting. Nyla Rose did have a match as well, which she won. So that's pretty good, I guess. You had a match with Frankie Kazarian and Jon Moxley. Now, obviously, this was, I think Christopher Daniels is out. Oh no, they're both back in. But it was Frankie's first singles match, and I don't know how long. And it's obviously the first time, as Michael Cole would say, this was the first time that Jon Moxley and Frankie Kazarian faced off against each other. So this was a really good match too, and obviously it was a lot of close calls. Frankie really looked like he was going to go over this one, but a paradigm shift and fucking Jon Moxley wins. So that's pretty cool. And there was this whole thing with Brandy Rhodes doing a backstage thing where she talks about, this isn't the old days anymore. This isn't where, well, obviously she was talking about Lance Archer and Jake Roberts, but talking about the match that Lance had with Dustin, where Dustin retired. And so, yeah, this was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Of course, she said fuck, which they bleeped out. So, you could say shit, but you can't say fuck. So, there's that. Then there was the match with QT Marshall and Lance Archer, which obviously went to Lance Archer. And, that just kind of was pretty cool. But before I get into that, I want to go back to the match with Moxley and Kazarian, because after that match, the Dark Order came out, and they beat the shit out of Moxley and Kazarian. So you had Daniels and Scorpio Sky coming out. So there's that. It really was interesting to me because you had Kazarian out on the mat. Then here comes Brody Lee, who came to take on Moxley. So they beat the shit out of him. So there's that. Now we go back to the Brandy Rhodes thing. You had the match with Lance Archer and QT Marshall. Lance Archer won. Then out comes Jake Roberts. Now Jake has the mask on. Everyone actually seemed to have Well, most of them seem to have the mask. So he makes his way down the ring. He's got a bag with him, like the old days, with when you had Damien. If Britt Baker is jaw-jacking over to fucking Brandy, she leaps out of the barricade and she gives Brandy an old school Jake Roberts DDT. And then you have, hey, Roberts coming out with the bag. He unleashes a python. It looks like Damien, but he takes the snake and he puts it on Brandy and does some weird things, and then that's about it about that. So the main event was Chris Jericho and fucking I drew a blank versus Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega and the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. So this match was good. What's interesting to me is that Matt Hardy comes out in the broken gimmick and so that's what's gonna happen. And they wrestle, and then Matt goes to leave, but then he comes back and he's regular Matt Hardy. So he's kicking ass and he does the twist of fate or whatever, and then the match goes on to the outside and then out to the arena and then in the backstage area, and then you have them use the fucking golf cart, it's Omega and Matt, and then of course they chase Sammy, and then they get Matt, they beat him up, they put him in an ice box. He comes out as broken Matt, so somehow there's the gimmick where, he switches back and forth, but yeah, actually the Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara win the match, so that's pretty interesting there, but again, that was a good show. I know I fucked up a little bit, but it's a good show, and it was one of those things where I wish WWE, Vince McMahon especially, would get his head out of his ass. But yeah, very good. So yeah, if you haven't already, go to my man Killer Kyle's channel, and he just did a Money in the Bank review, so go watch it. And I might do it myself, actually. I don't even know, because SmackDown is tonight, so anyways, talk to you later.